quiet BPD, what it is and what it is not. Theodore Millen divided borderline personality disorder into 4 types: discouraged, impulsive, petulant, and self-destructive. The challenge with this classification is that it's almost impossible to find a person with BPD who displays characteristics of just one of these types. Instead, depending on the number of diagnostic criteria they meet, traits of each of these types exist in every person with BPD. Some traits are more pronounced, while others are less evident. Additionally, individuals often mix features of 2 types, like discouraged BPD and petulant BPD, depending on the phase of the emotional relationship, as in the case of subject of this article, quiet BPD. What is quiet BPD? Over time, especially on the internet, the term quiet BPD has emerged, which doesn't exist in scientific literature. This has led to various interpretations and definitions, many of which contradict BPD diagnostic criteria, making them not only inaccurate but also potentially harmful, especially for partners, as it falsely suggests the person is not toxic. A person with quiet BPD, QBPD, from experience, knows that the environment, and especially their partners, responded much better and for a longer time to playing the role of the victim, a sad, highly moral, shy and withdrawn, helpless, and vulnerable girl or woman who cannot cope with life and pleads and cries to the partner for help, rather than the toxic who humiliates, yells, and insults the partner. However, the fate of every partner is to eventually discover the true face of their significant other, the face of the personality disorder. Quiet BPD is above all still BPD, encompassing all the characteristics of standard BPD. The key difference is that individuals with quiet BPD are highly functional and adept at controlling and concealing their anger in public and in front of their partners, sometimes even for several years. It's best described as Millen's discouraged BPD in the initial phase of the relationship while the partner is still largely idealized. Abuse is kept to its minimum at this stage, and it's in passive-aggressive forms. Detailed explanation below. This type begins to display petulant BPD episodes as the partner's devaluation progresses. When the partner is fully immersed in permanent devaluation, before the final discard, petulant BPD characteristics become dominant, and abuse becomes overt. As the majority of BPD relationships are typically short-lived, less than 3 months, most partners only experience this discouraged BPD phase of quiet BPD before the sudden discard and cessation of communication. Therefore, the incorrect conclusion is often drawn that the anger is internalized. This is incorrect, as explained in detail in the text below. What quiet BPD isn't. On the internet, there are many articles that tend to suggest that the BPD rage in quiet BPD is internalized. These sources argue that individuals with quiet BPD are inclined towards self-harm and self-blame. Through mental gymnastics, it is then implied that they are highly empathetic individuals who would prefer to harm themselves rather than hurt their partners or loved ones. These are ludicrous claims, as such behaviors are in direct contradiction with the diagnostic criteria for BPD. These individuals fully satisfy the diagnostic criteria for a severe mental disorder. Hence, these claims pose a dual challenge. Firstly, they give opportunity for some individuals with BPD who tend to downplay the seriousness of their mental disorder and the damage it causes. Secondly, they give false hope for those closest to them, often emotional partners, that a person with quiet BPD is capable of a healthy emotional relationship. Characteristics of quiet BPD. A certain number of men from dysfunctional families react very poorly to female yelling and shouting, and instantly leave such partners. However, their weakness is women's tears and the damsel in distress persona, making them easy prey for partners with quiet BPD. Quiet BPD are often highly functional, educated, with a good job/career in a prestigious position, although the job rarely involves significant responsibility, complexity, or stress. The environment is completely unaware of their problems. Partners are attracted to their beauty and childlike character traits. Although they are often very handsome and beautiful, it is precisely this childlike trait that attracts partners equally, who often take on the role of protector and caretaker, which these individuals skillfully exploit. Therefore, they usually wear the mask of the damsel in distress, helpless, shy, withdrawn, and vulnerable girls/women, who are victims of life circumstances. Therefore, you will often see them in tears. This is one of their main manipulation tools, and they are extremely skilled at it. They can start and stop crying on command if they see that their manipulation is not working. Quiet BPD is, in its characteristics, very similar to covert NPD, meaning individuals with quiet BPD have even more narcissistic characteristics, which come to the fore in cruelty and coldness, and an absolute lack of emotions they show during the devaluation and discarding phase of the partner. Also, a vast percentage has comorbidity with NPD. Right after the idealization phase, the partner will gradually become familiar with fluctuating moods, frequent depressive episodes, and permanent anxiety, which come and go without rules, and other psychological problems of the partner that, until yesterday, not only did the partner have no idea about but also the QBPD claimed at the beginning of the relationship that they did not exist. They always present themselves as extremely empathic and sensitive. They will cry if they see a hungry stray dog on the street or an old woman begging. This is all manipulation, brought to perfection, and is meant to train the partner to always be understanding and considerate of everything she has done wrongly, and ready for her tears in case of any discussion about something stressful for her. The most stressful is facing responsibility for her actions. Broken promises, lies, double standards, manipulations. While in the early stages of the relationship, as soon as you try to talk about any of her responsibilities, no matter how tactful and considerate you are, her eyes will fill with tears. In the later stages, when her true face begins to be revealed, you will be embarrassed, reproached, and punished with the treatment of silence because you dared to criticize her. Another characteristic of BPD individuals, and especially this type, is easy irritability. In case the partner does not yield in their efforts to set healthy personal boundaries, e.g., does not allow late phone calls because they wake up early, does not want to give up old friends, does not break contact with family, the passive-aggressive approach will turn into standard BPD open aggression, verbal violence, arguments, emotional blackmail. If the partner does not withdraw even after this, and if the BPD individual does not feel that they have achieved their goal, the partner will experience discard. BPD individuals do not waste time with partners who have strong personal boundaries and are not susceptible to manipulation and emotional blackmail, no matter how successful, intelligent, charming, or wealthy they are. Also, they present themselves as highly moral individuals who never lie. They reduce the number of previous sexual partners, keep promiscuous behaviors from the past secret, express themselves extremely negatively about infidelity and those who cheat. All this is for the manipulation of the partner. BPD is generally very prone to infidelity due to hypersexuality and promiscuity, which, with impulsive behavior and the lack of object constancy, makes a volatile combination. Lack of object constancy means basically out of sight, out of mind. As soon as they don't see the partner for a few days, they forget about them, e.g., an absence because of a short trip. This type prepares in advance an alibi for every suspicious behavior and manipulations and lies.